Hey, welcome back to another episode of Less Things, Big Dreams. Today we are going to move the car home, as our kids call it. So we will be showing you a couple different things. One, where the plants go, the decor, any of the things that we have altered, making it a renovated RV. We'll show you what we secure and how we secure it. We'll show you some hitching up, and yeah, so let's get this started. Going to put a few things away in the kitchen. Make sure that these things are empty. If you don't have any of these, we'll link them below. These are fireballs, so they will put out a fire. We keep one by the stove. Already put my blankets in here, but I just put my pictures there. Any glass things, just rest them in there. Towel holder can stay. We will take a couple bananas for the road, so I'm going to leave that accessible. Any things that we want to take with us, I usually put over here. We'll probably fill this up as well. That's not going anywhere. This does have a home in the TV cabinet, but we've already locked it up. I'm just gonna set it right there. You reach a point on moving day where you just put things somewhere where they won't move. So this space is pretty much ready to go. Look for tiny things on your counters like seashells. That might end up in your slide though, and definitely get those off. For the plants, everything is mostly in the shower. I have one plant in my kitchen sink. Careful not to overload an undermount sink. I leave one on the fireplace there. And we have a sofa table behind the couch that I've chosen to put a couple on today. I added some extra plants when we moved to Port A, so I needed a couple extra spots. So those spaces are fine and they don't move. One thing that we do on moving days with a residential fridge is we try to consolidate everything into 2 shelves. So if it sounds like Charlie's rattling things around, that is exactly what he's doing. This just helps prevent the things shifting while we travel.
We got the fridge all wrapped up, and one thing to remember with these is every single trailer, a lot of different fridges will have different mechanisms for keeping things locked. In this case, because this is a residential fridge, we had to add something. To do that, all I have to do is pull it open a little bit, push it shut, and that will latch the fridge shut. So now this won't come open. The freezer is low enough that nothing's going to come out of the freezer because it's got drawers inside, and these have never opened. We've never had an issue with them. Another thing that we do is, if you can see in the pantry here, we have these tension rods. This is just what you would use for a curtain. So we put those on the shelves to keep anything from falling off the shelves. And then, as you've seen in our tour before, I built this door. And up here, there's a latch just like you'd have for a gate. Once you lock that, you're good to go. At this point, we just get everything off the floor, and then we start to roll up the rugs. Another tip that we have for cabinets, if you'll notice, we actually stuff blankets inside the cabinets, and what that does is it keeps anything inside from shifting. So everybody has blankets around their house, and so it's just a matter of grabbing those blankets, shove it in the cabinet if you're concerned at all about any of those things coming out. Next piece is this rug. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this up. We do have a carpet padding under the rug. And all you have to do is roll it up. And this will clear. Once we have the slides in, it'll clear. And this one I'll fold it because we don't need as much. So that can go there. And then we do have this rug as well. I'll set that over here. One thing to remember with these slides is that there's actually rollers that roll on this floor. So it's really important when you pull these slides in, we have to remember to clear everything out. So our favorite way to do that is we keep this little broom around. And what I do is we just go through, we find all kinds of crayons. We've been stationary for about 2 months now, so there's a few more things than we would normally have. But by doing this, it gets where the vacuum can't. So, great example, our daughter's pencil. So that would have caused an issue. You just go all the way through. You just want to make sure that the floor is as clean as possible so that when the slide comes in, you don't have to worry about hurting your floor or hurting your slide. So we typically just sweep it into the center and then we'll vacuum it up.
In the girls' room, I think normally you would keep the toddler bed in the slide, but Geneva messes with the window. So we have her bed on rollers so we can roll it into the slide. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So the ladder goes up first thing. So we have room. And we'll toss this pillow up here as well. Also, it's always easier to move if your house is clean and your laundry is done. That is not the case for us today. We've been having fun at the ocean. We have storage totes under the bed for shoes. It's not entirely organized. You're getting to see the real life here. So now that everything is out from underneath the bed, go ahead and roll it into the slide. Now we do the typical things in here where we just double check that there's nothing near the slide that we need to worry about moving. Now that everything is all secure in the living room and the girls' room, we are ready to bring in the slides.
So Emily and I's process for these slides is generally we'll have her down here, we'll have her watch the slide, make sure we don't hit anything. I'm going to go ahead and take you upstairs and I'll show you the control panel where we have all the controls for the slides. Up in our hallway, you can see we have our control panel and we have everything labeled. That way you never have to wonder which buttons for which piece. So we're going to go ahead. Emily is down there. She's ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and work with her and get these slides shut. We are going to start with the kitchen slide. We'll go ahead and push this button and I'll show you what happens. Emily's just going to watch this, make sure nothing's getting squished, nothing's getting pinched.
I just remembered one thing. I have a tab on the bottom of this. I'm going to stick this to the counter.
Okay, moving on, we're going to go for the living room. All right, we good for the girls' room, the bunk?
Go. In the girls' room, that stays on the wall, as does this large photo. You can see the clothing comes together there. This room gets really tight. Yep.
Now that we have the living room, kitchen, and bunk slide in, we're going to take a quick break before we move on to the master. But while I'm showing the panel, I'll show a few things. We always make sure all of our lights are off. This is the hall light, the hitch light, ceiling fan is off, the slides are in, and then also we're going to turn off the awning light, the porch light. We're going to turn off our electric water heater because we're not going to need that. One thing to remember as well, turn off the electric water pump while traveling. If you have water in the tanks and something bumps a faucet or anything while you're driving, it'll turn that faucet on. It'll pump water and it'll make a big mess. So always make sure turn that off, and then if you stop at a rest stop to use the bathroom, you can always just flip it on real quick and then turn it off when you get on the road again. As you can tell, when we go downstairs, now this slide is inside, this window is inside of the trailer. You can see how tight everything is. And one feature of our trailer we don't love, which can be common, is that you can't really get through here unless you're really small. So for us, we just make sure we have everything ready to go. But you can see this is what the house looks like on the inside when everything is shut. Okay, we're gonna go ahead with the master. You ready to go, Em?
Okay, girls, you ready for a ride?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Another unfortunate reality of RV life is sometimes travel days are long and stressful. On a day like today, when we're filming a video for YouTube, it was a little bit crazier. I was also able to meet up with someone from Instagram. And sometimes we have babies crying upstairs. But now that we've got the house, the slides all pulled in, Charlie is working outside to get a few things done. I'm gonna head outside and clean up the messes that I used to distract the girls while we filmed and got the inside all started.
Got just a few more things to wrap up before we get going here. The biggest thing is getting all of our sewer hoses, water hoses, getting everything put back away. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now.
Nowhere to go, I watch them slip away as far as I can see. I let them roll.
Okay, we are in the water convenience panel of the trailer. We can unhook our water, get everything shut off, and then keep packing things up.
It's bathing you in lights, why should I complain? If there should ever be a storm or a pouring rain, we'll look out through the window pane where the sun will shine again. Time is moving still, and you here with me. The house upon the
You're videoing yourself with the GoPro.
and the little apple tree. The sun is shining through every window pane. It's bathing you in light. Why should I?
And now for the most dreaded part of RVing, hitching up the trailer. Let's see how it goes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Hey Emily, what happened?
I'm gonna hold the thing and left it in front of the truck. So, it's fun.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
There's like gotta be some casualty. I'm glad it's a selfie stick and not something else.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a kid
Right? The
Or-
kids are locked safely in the house.
or a camera.
Right?
All right, round two.
Here we go.
On the hill and a little apple tree. The sun is shining.